The first detour site we're going to look at is in the Parramatta River Valley, or whatever the heck it is, just next to the Silverwater Bridge. And I came off the Silverwater Bridge and I came down here, and we're on the existing path, and you can see some signage here saying there's detours, and it's nice and large and yellow, and directional signage, cycling signage, pedestrian signage, and even the temporary path is really good. You know, it's so much better than what we got in Richard Murden Reserve, where they just did crushed gravel and it was really slippery. That's a really good quality asphalt path. And so they've made this road here one way and put in this quite wide detour area. It's bi-directional, it's wide enough for that. And they've used these water-filled safety barriers. You can see some water's leaked out of some of them there. They've obviously got a bit of water in them. And you just look at the size of those signs and the number of them, you absolutely can't get lost, and even the end of the detour is quite well marked. So we'll do a U-turn and go back, and here's a map of what it's all about. That's really good. There's a rumble strip area here, because this is a crossing that's been quite well done. Again, you can just see the size of these signs and just the number of them. There's a bit more water leakage coming out there. It's quite a reasonably long detour. They've used a lot of these. Even if you come in from a side street from the perspective of a driver, it's done well.
Well, what's to like about this detour, cycleway? Well, everything. Signage is really good. I mean, it's ginormous. It's everywhere. You absolutely cannot miss it. So, to go from these signs here to those signs over there, every 50 or 100 metres. So you go past one detour sign and you can immediately see the next one. You don't need to be wearing glasses, you don't need binoculars or a telescope to see where you're going. They're using some great road stuff, which can't kick over. Obviously some of it's full of water. I didn't test it, but presumably it'd be pretty hard to move by someone who wants to come and wreck it. They've turned the street over there into one way, and they've laid down this temporary bitumen path here as well, which is really good. It's actually better quality than a lot of permanent paths. That's probably just temporarily here for the construction. So 9.5 out of 10. Even 10 out of 10, I can't fault this thing at all.
How does the Cooks River detour compare to that? Well, let's have a look. We go bombing down this hill here towards the Cooks River, and what I would expect to see as we get down the bottom of the hill, as we go over this bridge, would be some detour signage taking us off to the left here, because the map that's down at the bottom tells us we should be going left where that van's going, I think. Is that one? No, the next street. But, well, anyway, at least along here there should be some warning signage saying cyclist detour left. So that's what the sign says. But is there any signage here? No, absolutely nothing. So nothing like this, what we saw in the Parramatta Valley. So you continue going all the way down to the bottom to get to here to find the map that then tells you, oh, you need to turn around and go back up the hill and turn into that street and go through there. Now from here, of course, where I've put those arrows, you can't see the detour signs down there from this location. So that arrow is pointing at where I would have expected to have seen some signage. Now if you decided to go this way, you'd expect to see a little bit of signage along here, similar to what we saw on the Parramatta Valley Way, just to let you know you're going in the right direction. Something, cyclists and pedestrians go this way, some arrows, etc. But again, there's absolutely nothing. There's no maps, there's no direction signs, there's no detour signs. There's signs nailed up on this tree up here, back to back, and it says detour, but there's no arrows. It doesn't tell you where to go. I decided I'd try this bridge and see where it took me. And again, what you'd expect when you get across the other side here, when we get to this Labrador, there should be some signage, like on the Parramatta Valley Way, telling us where to go. And what I should have done here actually is turn left on that path, but what I did, because there's no signage, is I went straight up here and made an absolute mess of it. So what we'll see next is the Strava map of the route that I took, which was an absolute balls up. And here's a map of where I went, and you can see I was going up and down these streets trying to find a way through because I had no idea where I was going, and I thought all I'd need to do is get up to whatever that street is, Wardell Street, and turn left and I'd find my way through. But when I actually got there, I took one look at it and went, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that, thanks very much. and just turned around and gave up. Now, having gone back and looked at the signs that have been put up for the project, this is the route that I should have gone. I should have turned left onto the path that goes along the river, and then turned right up a side street, gone up to Wardell, and then followed that along to Lang Road, where you normally come across the pedestrian crossing, and from there I would have been on the Cooks River, and all would have been good, except there's not a single sign anywhere along there to tell you to actually do this. Now, another option the council could have done is just like they did on the Parramatta River, is temporarily lay a bitumen path along here, which is currently kind of gravel and dirt, and that would have taken care of the problem quite nicely as well. So clearly, the difference in the signage and detour maps, etc., and the path treatments between these two projects is chalk and cheese. Like I said, the Parramatta Valley River thing, I'd give 10 out of 10. This one, I'd give them 5 out of 10 for actually using a couple of the detour signs, nice yellow ones here and there. But I'd knock that back to 1 out of 10 because there's very few of them, and there's actually no directional arrows. So pretty poor effort all up.